So let me start off by saying this. This isn't one of those all build matters type of videos. If you think it's one of those videos and whatnot, you can keep going, but this is not one of those videos. On some honest stuff, man, I've been in the car community for quite some time, doing car stuff for a very long time before the whole YouTube stuff. And man, as I sit back and see everything that's going on, seeing how people going about moving it within the car community, the car community as a whole is cooked. It's completely cooked, man. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Let's talk about it. You see the title and you see the thumbnail. Yeah, this is gonna be one of those type of videos. I'm gonna say this by starting off like this is not no boomer type thing or whatnot. This is no back in the day type thing or whatnot, what I'm about to say. But you know, I've been doing car stuff or been interested in cars for a very long time. Way before this whole YouTube thing, way before I even got to a point in my life where I can get cars that I really like and really enjoy to own and drive and whatnot, right? But as I sit back and see everything that's going on, see, you know, car community take a big shift as to, you know, what's going on within the car community. Now, a lot of it is good, but there's also some negative things that happen within the car community. Some of it is due to the people within the car community, and some of the other things that happen are like external factors that have an impact on the car community as a whole. So I want to kind of talk through some of the things I've been seeing, some of the things I've been noticing, and I want y'all to let me know, are these the same things that you guys are seeing when it comes to the whole car community as a whole? I'm not going to touch on street racing and, you know, and street takeovers and things like that. We already know that type of stuff already puts a negative light on the car community as a whole. So I'm not even going to touch on that. You already know what that is with that. I know a lot of y'all don't support that type of stuff either. So we're all good there. I'm not talking about that. But what I am talking about, the car community now is just full of people that are just clout chasers. This is what I mean by that. I feel like a lot of people now, instead of buying cars that they are interested in, buying cars that they want to own, they are buying cars that are like, what's popular, what's going to get them famous, or what's going to get them the most clicks on social media. Now, to be clear, I'm not talking about those people that like to buy cars and switch out cars every so often because they like to experience different type of cars. I'm not talking about those people. I'm not talking about people that already have kind of like a big following on social media, and for their content to stay fresh, they have different cars on their channel, on their page, whatever they like to do to kind of keep their content up to date and whatnot. I'm not talking about those type of people. What I'm talking about is the people that only, you know, that are trying to get to that point where they can get big on social media and whatnot, and they only buy the cars that they feel will get them to that point, and they have no interest at all in the car whatsoever. Being the owner of a Mopar, I know for a fact is in the Mopar community. People will buy these cars, Scat Packs, Hellcats, whatever, right? And they buy these cars thinking, okay, I'm gonna buy this car, it's gonna blow up my YouTube channel, it's gonna blow up my social media, whatever. And you can tell they don't really like the car, because then they make videos talking about, I hate this about the car, and I didn't know this about the car, and all this type of stuff, right? It is different from people making informative videos about things they don't like about the car. I did it on mine as well, but I just did it as a kind of like, these are the things to look out for if you're interested in this type of car. But a lot of people generally make videos they say about these cars that they don't like, and they generally don't like the car at all. For they say it's extremely slow. I know, of course, that is kind of the popular thing to say, Mopars are slow, but they really say it doesn't do this. I don't think it's not as fast as what people talk about, things like that. But you can tell that when they got that car, they didn't get it with the intentions of enjoying the car for what it is. They got the car with the intention of hoping that car takes them to the next level when it comes to their social media following and stuff like that. And then what kind of happens is this, it starts getting noticed by other car communities and other car enthusiasts and things like that, to the point where it's kind of like they see certain people with certain cars, and they know, well, I know for a fact you bought the car because you think that it's this certain car or whatnot. You really don't enjoy the car, and they start calling people out like, hey, this person isn't really a car enthusiast and things like that. It is what it is, man. We're not going to let the people that don't really enjoy the cars impact how people like us who really enjoy their cars and like the cars for what it is. It's not going to stop us from enjoying our cars, right? All right, so we already know the clout chasers are going to do what they're going to do, right? But let's talk about some of the external factors that I mentioned at the top of the video here. One of the biggest things that's really hurting the car community is this. It's literally these car manufacturers and these car companies, car part companies that make aftermarket parts and things like that. So from the car manufacturer standpoint, cars are getting more and more expensive, right? Even your run-of-the-mill cars that people consider everyday traffic, and they, you know, people like to throw that term around, those cars are getting much more expensive than they ever have before. These everyday traffic type cars are now to the point where you're making almost life decisions where you want to buy this car or not. On top of that, you know, kind of with the shift in what these cars are offering, right? A lot of these car companies, they know car enthusiasts like certain things in their cars. They also understand that most of their sales aren't coming from car enthusiasts. Most of their sales are coming from the general public who don't really care about certain things. Car enthusiasts want manual transmissions. But these car manufacturers understand that why are they going to spend all this money trying to get a manual transmission in the car if most of their customer base don't care about a manual transmission or can't even drive a manual transmission car. So they're not going to waste their time and money and resources to do that. On top of that, we know the EPA type stuff is kind of shifting into a certain direction, but a lot of these companies are still kind of, you know, going away from certain engine types and what have you, right? They're not making their V8 engines and whatever they got going on with some of their trim lines, like not just Dodge. A lot of other companies are doing the same thing as far as going away from V8 engines. And let's not even talk about a lot of the cars that are popular in the car community being discontinued, not even being made again. Or even if you want a performance car to begin with, the cost, like I said before, is just going crazy. Like just take, I'm gonna use Dodge for example. Just take the Scat Pack for example. This car was a car that came out back in 2015. I'm just talking about the Scat Pack trim itself, and the car was like high 30s, low $40,000 car. Now this same car is now $55,000 car. You can see how much these cars are going up in price, which kind of turns people away from getting certain cars. Yes, you can get a used car, but you know, when you buy a used performance car, you have no clue how that person that had the car before you has treated the car, has maintenance the car, and all of that. Now I know I mentioned the car manufacturers have risen the cost of these cars, but also on top of that, like the aftermarket parts as well. Part of being in the car community and being interested in cars is modding your car. A lot of people take a lot of pride in doing so, but over the years, these car manufacturers and these aftermarket companies have made it much more difficult to do so. Just starting with the car manufacturer, a lot of things that you can't really change out a lot of things on the cars. It's hard to tune a car. A lot of newer cars have locked PCMs and whatnot, so it doesn't allow you to even go in there and tune the car for more horsepower unless you go about some roundabout way to make it happen with a lot of these cars. Now, there's some cars you don't have that problem, but there's a lot of cars you do have that problem. A lot of newer cars coming out, you can't do anything with it. So therefore, a lot of people are staying away from buying these new cars because they can't mod them in the way they want to. Now, on top of that, when you go to buy some of these parts, a lot of these parts are really expensive, and it kind of goes into another point when people's, you know, looking to adding more horsepower and things into their car. People think it's really easy and really cheap to get a car to 1,000 horsepower. Horsepower ain't cheap. Horsepower ain't free. Now, one of the biggest reasons that in the car community things are we're so cooked about that, you can't even go out and enjoy your car without having to look over your back and worry about someone taking something that you worked so hard for. And that's why you need this.
Being part of the car community is a wonderful feeling, but unfortunately, if you own any sort of Mopar, Camaro, or maybe even a Corvette, you may have to keep your eyes on your car a little bit more due to the increasing theft rates of these vehicles. No matter what mod you may install on your car, make sure one of your first things that you install on your car is Carlock. This is the world's best GPS tracker and alert system. With Carlock, you will be able to live track your car via GPS directly from your phone, as well as get alerts sent to your phone for any kind of activity that may be going on to your car, such as your engine starting when it should not be starting, or your car moving when it should not be moving. And if there's a power loss that the Carlock will detect, it will give you an alert for that as well. Make sure you protect yourself with Carlock by going to the link in the description below and using these codes here to get yourself a 10% discount as well as a 14-day free trial for your Carlock. You deserve that peace of mind. Let's go ahead and get into the video.
Now, the biggest thing I feel that kind of ties everything together as to kind of what is really wrong with the car community, it all stems from social media. Like from when I was talking about people buying certain cars for social media clout and things like that. Even the type of builds you do with your car kind of influenced by social media. Now, don't get me wrong. I know I use social media a lot, and it is a place where, you know, you can gain a lot of information and make a lot of connections and things like that. But it can be a tool that people use to either kind of make themselves feel better and become a kind of a cesspool for trolls and things like that. For example, and this is kind of really big on like TikTok, but it's also on all social media platforms, but the whole thing that people are now obsessed with horsepower, right? The whole thing, like if your car doesn't have 1,000 horsepower, it's slow and things like that, right? You only hear that type of stuff on social media. I've been to many hundreds and hundreds of car shows, car meets, whatever, and the type of things you see and hear on social media aren't the things that actually happen at these car shows and whatnot. I've had a lot of great conversations with people I met at car meets and car shows, but on social media, it makes it seem like everyone is just so obsessed with horsepower. And as I stated before multiple times, horsepower ain't cheap, but they think on social media that horsepower just falls out the sky and things like that. Not only that, also on social media, they downplay certain cars and what have you. They feel like everybody should have a one-on-one super rare car to even come to a car meet. But that's not the case, man. A lot of people are interested in a lot of different cars. A lot of these one-on-one and rare cars aren't obtainable by a lot of people. Even if you go to certain car shows, a lot of people with these super rare cars may not show up to these particular car shows. So you're going to get a lot of cars that you can mainly see every day. But at that point, that's when people can put their own personal spin on their cars and things like that. And people look down on those type of things. Now, I will say there, when it comes to car meets, I don't think you should be expecting car show level type of cars there, right? When you go to a car meet where anybody can just show up, you shouldn't be expecting to see cars that you would see like at a sanctioned car show, like Slammed Enough, where you have to show a picture of your car to enter that. There's other car shows that's the same way, where you actually have some sort of unique build to enter the car show. If it's a car meet, that's different, right? You can't expect these rare cars to show up to a car meet. Now, every now and again it will happen, but most of the time it's not. I mean, Cars and Coffee is the same way. You have a higher chance of seeing some of these rare one-off builds or rare cars and things like that. But for the most part, Cars and Coffee is where everyone to show up, and you're going to see a little bit of everything, from the clean daily commuters to kind of the one-off builds and things of that nature. So but social media made it seem like if you don't have a car that's super rare and that no one else have, you just have regular traffic car, right? And going back to the horsepower thing, people on social media want to challenge you to a race every time they see your car on social media, which is crazy because it's kind of like, you don't know me, I don't know you, but yet you see my car and like, oh, it's slow, let's race. And then they stay on the other side of the United States and like, yo, come over here and race me, even though I'm calling you out, come over here and race me and stuff like that. And that's just crazy, like I said, because like, I don't know you, you don't know me. So for us to get together, you don't know what type of person I am. I could be someone that's trying to set you up and steal your car, maybe, you never know. But people like to say these things on social media, call your car slow and want to tell you to race. Things that don't happen in real life. Like I said, I've been to hundreds and hundreds of car shows, car meets, and all this type of stuff, and people don't do that at car meets. People don't sit there and talk down on your car. People don't sit there and call your car slow to your face. People don't sit there and challenge you to a race like that. At least I ain't experienced it. I mean, maybe you have. If you have, let me know, but I haven't experienced any of that. It is some of the most craziest stuff that people will say online, and you give people a keyboard and internet access and private profile, they will let it fly and say what they want to say. It's crazy, right? So like I said, man, the biggest thing that's really cooking up the car scene and kind of making it what it's not supposed to be is definitely the social media. Like that's kind of like overarching issue over every single thing and the motive behind a lot of things what people do with the whole horsepower talk, with the whole, you got to have a certain type of car, you have to have a certain type of mods, all that type of stuff, and people only getting cars to try to get clout online. Stuff like that, man. And, it's crazy, but at the end of the day, the people that really like cars and into cars won't let that faze them. Unfortunately, people, when they see one person or a group of people doing a certain thing online, they like to group everybody into one pot, when that's not really the case, right? Not everyone is like that. There's genuine people that's in this car community that are in it truly for the cars, and you got the people that's in it only for the clout and what have you. So let me know your thoughts down below. If you made it this far in the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We do a lot of car related things on here. We will catch you on the next video. We are out. Cut it.